Hey guys, Mika here, and I'm really excited to share yet another masterful build by a master luthier, Peter Marreros, I believe all the way in North Carolina. Peter is a guitar builder as well as an ukulele builder, and he literally makes some of the finest instruments you can get here on this planet. So it's always a treat to go ahead and feature yet another one of his instruments here. And before I get into my usual, here's the body and stuff, I just have to point out the thing that stuck out the most to me about this instrument. So with Peter's work, he loves doing these half sail designs on his headstock. So usually it would be like one color or one piece of wood on one side and a beautiful design, or maybe he does a sail of different woods or all kinds of different designs. But when I was handed this uke, I immediately turned my attention to the headstock, and I was just like, wow, like what is, you can probably see it in the pictures on the website, but it's just absolutely stunning. Like I kind of wish that this went into the fretboard, because I mean that is, Peter, do another one like this. This is really beautiful. The dark grays and black and the white, I mean, just really beautiful. And then almost looks like stormy clouds with like the ocean right here on the bottom with the different hues of blue. I mean, just stunning. And then this kind of this silver background right here. I mean, wow, it's just really beautiful. So I just wanted to feature that and give it its own little section, because wow, that is, I want to see another one like that. But so anyway, going into this build right here, beautiful torrefied Sitka spruce top here on the front of the instrument, nice baked golden color, very beautiful. The silky texture, the medullary rays with how it was cut. I mean, just really beautiful in the lighting of the room right here, and then really nice black African blackwood on the sides and back of the instrument right here. A little hard to see the grain pattern in this light as it is really dark, but you can see, or from my vantage point, you can see the streaks, lots of tiny little streaks going up, running up the back of the instrument right here, and then here on the sides as well. So a little lighter on the sides right here, so both sides. And then Peter's signature 3 little hole, like leaf hole side port right here. So again, side ports are really beneficial in my opinion, because not only does it open up the instrument more, you get a more accurate representation of what the instrument actually sounds like. So what does that mean? Is if you don't have this right here, really the instrument, a majority of the sound will go forward, but guess where I am? Behind. I am not in front of the instrument, right? So by having this side port here, I think it does one of two things. One is, I imagine like a big water container, upside down water container where you can fill up water, press the button. It's like you have all the water coming out of the front or the bottom, but then when you like punch a hole on the side, the water comes out of the other side. So there's 2 points where the water is releasing. In my head, it creates this, like it expands the bubble, or you're in this sphere of the sound that the instrument's creating. So when you don't have a side port, I feel like a lot of the sounds pushed forward, versus when you have it here on the side, it pushes towards your face, but it almost makes the sound feel more rounded versus more directional. So for me, I think that's a good thing, because it opens up the instrument more, in my opinion. And then 2, again, having that sound hit your face, you can hear more accurately all the beautiful tones and sounds that's coming from this instrument towards your face. So I digress. I think it's a great thing to have these little side ports. And another great thing about Peter's instrument is that he has this arm bevel that not only just goes like here, it goes all the way pretty much towards that butt of the instrument. So why that's so important is that for me, say as a classical player, if I want to hold my instrument at a 45-degree angle like this on my lap, I can go ahead and hold the instrument and it still fits my arm right here, my forearm. So I can go ahead and do my business. If you're a player that has a strap and then the instrument is more like this, well, look at that. It still fits perfectly on my hands. So no matter the angle you're holding the instrument, this arm bevel goes ahead and captures all of the different possible angles you can comfortably play instruments. So I'm a big fan of this, and I love that he includes it in all of his instruments. So coming back to the front of the instrument, you have the black pearl right here that's wrapped around the shell, wrapped around the instrument here on the outside, the perimeter. And then you have it even here on the outside of the rosette, as well as on the inside of the rosette. And then you have the African blackwood here as the inside of the rosette. And then you have ebony binding. It's a little hard to see because the African blackwood is dark, but you do have ebony binding that wraps around the entire instrument on the top as well as on the bottom. And then you have gaboon ebony here on the bridge, fretboard. And then on this half of the sail of the headstock, you can see the Cornerstone label right up there. And then you have Recon stone right here in this almost like blue jean color. I really like this color shade of blue that he picked on 3, 5, 7, 10, double, and 12 and 15. And then you have a slight shell inlay that wraps around the headstock of the instrument as well as on the perimeter of the fretboard itself on both sides. Now turning our attention to the back, I've always been a big fan of how Peter one shapes his neck, but also how he stains and makes his neck. Usually necks are one of the more boring parts of the ukulele because, well, it's kind of towards you. You're kind of looking at it, but no one else gets to see it. But as a player, it's really nice being able to see this beautifully stained satin finished neck, curly maple, so nice big curls. It's just another nice thing to look at when you flip the instrument around. And then you have Gold tuners, the SX510 tuners right here, black button, gold and silver mechanics right here, mechanical gears here. So Gold's really good solid tuners that you can go ahead and put on your instrument. And then another slight detail that I want to point out is that for the nut and the saddle right here, Peter stained it so it has like this kind of grayish kind of silver color, and it's shiny, has a shiny finish. So here on the nut, and then even here, compensated saddle here on the bridge as well. Also like the shape of the outline of how the bridge is cut out right here on the instrument. So yeah, this is, expertly, masterfully built instrument. I look at every single component of the instrument. There's like 0 glue marks. I mean, it's perfect, really. The finish, everything about it. So it's always a treat to be able to play one of Peter's instruments. So this has always got to double check, this has a radius fretboard as well. I'm a big fan of radius fretboard. It really just comes down to preference whether you like it flat or has like a slight curve on the fret wires. I personally like the radius because I think it does make a difference in holding a bar chord or playing your other chords on the instrument. So going into the sound, for me personally, I feel like Peter aims his sound more on the warmer side of the instrument. So it's good for someone like me because I have nails, so I can get naturally without changing my playing style. Really nice warm sound. I mean, but if I want to dig into it with my nails, I can get that. I can get that bite if I wanted to. But yeah, Peter's instruments are very well balanced. In my opinion, skewed a little more towards the warmer side, especially the strings that he puts on. I believe these are nylon strings, so you're gonna naturally get a warmer sound on these thicker gauge strings. But for doing fingerstyle or doing, just regular strumming, it's just so clean. Yeah, it's wonderful, right? When we do fingerstyle. Just really pleasant sounding. When we go on the middle part of the fretboard, super clean. Again, even though you have thicker nylon strings, you're not gonna get that fluorocarbon sound, which is that really bright, it projects really straight forward. You're gonna get more of that rounded kind of sound. But it just sounds so clean all the way up on the 11th and 12th fret in this diminished chord. Everything just has a nice rounded sound. Yeah. Again, so sweet. So let me go ahead and give an uninterrupted sound sample. Here we go. And here's what this instrument will sound like with a bit of strumming. Here you go.